What the light showed me wasn't about the end of the world. It was about the moment systems fail, and people must choose love or fear. I was 16 when I died, and I saw the future. My name is Daniel Carter Brennan. I lived in a town called Riverside, somewhere in the Midwest where cornfields stretched to the horizon, and Friday night football was religion. It was June 3rd, 2024, at 11:47 at night. My heart stopped for 9 minutes. 9 minutes where I was shown 3 events. 3 things that will happen before 2026, and I'm still shaking. Before I tell you what I saw, I need you to do something. Right now. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And whisper the word light. Just once. Quietly. If you feel something shift in your chest, something you can't explain, then stay with me. Because what I'm about to share isn't just my story. It might be the warning you need to hear. The light still speaks. And it spoke to me when I had no reason left to listen. I was just a kid. A sophomore at Riverside High. I played basketball, got decent grades, hung out with my friends at the diner on weekends. I wasn't popular, but I wasn't invisible either. Somewhere in the middle. Safe. Unremarkable. My parents, Michael and Sarah, were good people. Dad worked at the grain elevator. Mom was a nurse at the county hospital. We went to church on Christmas and Easter, said Grace before big meals. But faith wasn't something we talked about. It was just there, in the background, like wallpaper you stop noticing. I had a younger sister, Emma. She was 13, annoying, and obsessed with her phone. We fought over stupid things. Who got the bathroom first? Who finished the cereal? Normal sibling stuff. I didn't tell her I loved her enough. I wish I had. My life was ordinary, predictable. I woke up, went to school, played video games, scrolled through social media until my eyes burned. I didn't think about death. I didn't think about God. I didn't think about much beyond the next test, the next game, the next weekend. The night it happened, I was at my friend Tyler's house. His parents were out of town, and a bunch of us were hanging out in his basement. Nothing crazy, just pizza, energy drinks, and playing games until midnight. I remember laughing. I remember feeling normal. And then I got in my car to drive home. It was late. The roads were empty. The streetlights cast long shadows across the asphalt. I was tired. My eyes felt heavy. I turned up the music to stay awake. Some song I don't even remember now. And then I saw the deer. It came out of nowhere, frozen in my headlights like a ghost. I swerved. Too hard. Too fast. The car spun. I heard the screech of tires, the crunch of metal, the shattering of glass. And then silence. Complete silence. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. I tasted blood. My vision blurred. And the last thing I saw before everything went dark was the clock on the dashboard. 11:47. The darkness came like a wave, but it wasn't terrifying. It was peaceful, quiet, like sinking into deep water where sound doesn't reach. I couldn't feel my body anymore. Couldn't feel the pain or the cold or the fear. I was just floating, suspended in something vast and warm. And then I realized I wasn't alone. There was a presence with me, around me, inside me. Not a person, not a voice. Just a knowing, a certainty that I was being held. The darkness began to glow. Not like a light switch flipping on, but like dawn breaking slowly over the ocean. Soft, golden, beautiful. And I saw something. Someone. Not with my eyes, because I didn't have eyes anymore, but I saw. A figure made of light. Not human. Not shaped the way people are shaped. Just radiance. Pure energy. Love in a form I could almost comprehend. It moved toward me, and I should have been afraid, but I wasn't. I felt safe. Completely safe. Like coming home after being lost for a very long time. The light didn't speak with words. It spoke with feelings. With understanding that poured directly into my soul. And the first thing it said was this. You are loved, Daniel. You've always been loved. Even when you didn't know it. Even when you didn't believe it. I tried to respond, but I had no voice. So I thought the words instead. What is this? Where am I? The light pulsed, warm and steady, like a heartbeat. You are between worlds. Your body is broken. Your heart has stopped. But you are not finished. There is something you need to see, something you need to carry back with you. I wanted to ask why. Why me? I was nobody special. Just a 16-year-old kid who crashed his car because he was too tired to be driving. But the light already knew my questions, and it answered them before I could form the words. You were chosen not because you're perfect, but because you're willing. Because your heart is still open. Because you'll tell the truth, even when it's hard. What I'm about to show you will be difficult to carry. But carry it you must. The world needs to know what's coming. The light pulled me forward, and suddenly I was standing in a place that wasn't a place. It looked like the gym at my school, but infinite. The bleachers stretched forever. The basketball court gleamed under lights that had no source, and I saw people. Thousands of them. Millions. Young and old. Rich and poor. All standing silent, watching something I couldn't see yet. The light moved beside me, and I felt its presence like warmth on my skin. I'm going to show you 3 events, it said without speaking. 3 things that will happen before 2026. Not to scare you. Not to make you lose hope. But to prepare you. To prepare everyone who will listen. These events will shake the world. They will test humanity. But they are also opportunities. Opportunities to choose love over fear. Unity over division. Faith over despair. Watch carefully. Remember everything. And when you return, tell them what you saw. The first vision began like a movie playing on a screen I couldn't see. I saw a great shaking. Not just in one place but across the earth. The ground trembled, buildings swayed, cities that had stood for centuries cracked and crumbled. I saw people running, screaming, searching for safety. I saw the earth itself groaning, splitting, releasing pressure that had been building for decades. I saw earthquakes, multiple, simultaneous, hitting places that had never experienced them before. I saw coastlines that weren't prepared, infrastructure that couldn't withstand the force. And I saw fear. Overwhelming fear rippling through nations as they realized nature itself was in upheaval. The light spoke gently. The earth is shifting. Not as punishment, but as transition. The planet is changing, adapting, releasing what it can no longer hold. Before 2026, there will be a series of earthquakes, unlike anything your generation has witnessed. They will happen in unexpected places. They will disrupt systems people have taken for granted. Power grids will fail, supply chains will break, and humanity will be forced to remember that it is not in control. I watched cities go dark. I saw people huddled in streets, in parks, in any open space they could find. I saw mothers holding children. I saw strangers helping strangers. And I saw something else. I saw communities coming together, people sharing food, water, shelter. I saw barriers breaking down. Rich and poor, black and white, believers and non-believers, all working together to survive. The light continued. In the shaking, many will lose their foundations, their homes, their security, their illusions of control. But those who respond with love instead of fear will discover something beautiful. They will discover that they are not alone. That community is stronger than any building. That compassion is more valuable than any possession. The shaking will be devastating, but it will also be clarifying. It will show people what truly matters. The vision shifted and I saw the aftermath. Cities rebuilding. Not the same way they were before, but differently. More sustainably. More equitably. I saw gardens growing in empty lots. I saw neighbors who'd never spoken before working side by side. I saw a world learning, slowly, painfully, that everything is connected. But then the light pulled me into the second vision, and this one was darker. I saw conflict. War. Not the kind fought with guns and bombs in distant lands, but something more insidious. I saw nations turning on each other, alliances fracturing. I saw technology weaponized, cyber attacks crippling hospitals, banks, transportation systems. I saw information twisted into propaganda, truth becoming impossible to find. I saw people unable to trust anything they saw or heard. I saw societies fragmenting along lines of fear and suspicion. Before 2026, the light explained, there will be a digital war. Not fought on battlefields, but in the invisible networks that connect your world. Systems you rely on will be attacked, not by one enemy, but by many. Nations will accuse each other. Corporations will scramble to protect themselves. And ordinary people will be caught in the crossfire, unable to access their money, their records, their connections. The digital infrastructure of modern life will be exposed as fragile, and many will panic. I saw grocery stores with empty shelves, not because there was no food, but because the systems that distributed it had failed. I saw hospitals unable to access patient records, banks locked down, communication networks dark, and I saw fear turning into anger turning into violence, communities turning on each other, blaming, accusing, hoarding. The light's presence grew heavier, sadder. This is what happens when people forget they are one family, when they choose sides instead of choosing each other, when they let fear drive them instead of love. The digital war will be brief, but devastating. It will expose how dependent humanity has become on systems it doesn't control or understand. And in that exposure there is an opportunity to rebuild differently, to create systems that serve people instead of controlling them, to remember that connection is more than data, that community is more than networks. I saw glimpses of what could come after. People learning to live with less technology, families talking again, neighbors sharing resources, communities creating local systems that couldn't be hacked or controlled from afar. But I also saw the opposite. I saw those who responded with more control, more surveillance, more fear. The light whispered, "The choice will be theirs, as it always has been." Then the third vision came, and this one broke me. I saw a great sickness, not like the pandemic the world had just endured, but something different, something that affected the mind more than the body. I saw young people, my age and younger, staring at screens with empty eyes. I saw depression spreading like wildfire, anxiety, despair. I saw teen suicide rates spiking. I saw children who couldn't feel joy anymore, who'd forgotten how to play, how to imagine, how to hope. I saw an entire generation drowning in darkness, and no one knowing how to save them. The light's grief was overwhelming. Before 2026, there will be a crisis of the soul, especially among the young. They are carrying burdens they were never meant to carry. They are consuming poison disguised as connection. They are being told they are not enough, will never be enough, can never be enough. And many will believe it. Many will give up. This will be the greatest tragedy, not because of what happens to their bodies, but because of what happens to their hope. I saw parents helpless, watching their children fade. I saw schools overwhelmed. I saw therapists and counselors buried under impossible caseloads. I saw a mental health system collapsing under the weight of need. And I saw something even more heartbreaking. I saw young people who felt completely alone, even when surrounded by others, who believed no one understood them, who thought the world would be better without them. But then the light showed me the other side. I saw one person reaching out. One person saying, "I see you. I hear you. You matter." And that one connection changing everything. I saw peer support groups forming, young people helping each other. I saw creativity returning. Music, art, stories. I saw kids putting down their phones and picking up instruments, paintbrushes, journals. I saw them reconnecting with nature, with each other, with themselves. The light spoke with fierce gentleness. The crisis will be real and devastating, but so will the response. Those who choose to see the suffering and step toward it instead of away from it will become healers. They will save lives simply by being present, by listening, by loving without conditions. Tell the young people this. Tell them they are not alone. Tell them the darkness is temporary. Tell them to hold on. Tell them they are needed. Tell them their pain has purpose. Tell them to stay. I was weeping now, fully, completely. The weight of what I'd seen crushing me. I thought about my friends, about Emma, about all the kids at my school who walked through the halls with smiles that didn't reach their eyes. I thought about how many times I'd scrolled past someone's pain because I didn't know what to say. How many times I'd been too afraid to reach out. The light wrapped around me, holding me together. You understand now, it said. Why you had to see this. Why you have to go back. I tried to protest. I'm just a kid. Who's going to listen to me? But the light was firm. You are not just a kid. You are a witness. A messenger. And your voice matters. The world is about to face 3 great trials. The shaking of the earth. The fracturing of systems. The drowning of souls. And in each trial, there will be a choice. Fear or love. Division or unity. Despair or hope. Those who choose love will survive. Those who choose unity will rebuild. Those who choose hope will heal. You must tell them this. You must help them see that the darkness is not the end. It's the beginning of something new. The light began to pull back and panic seized me. I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay in that presence, in that peace, forever. But the light was already pushing me away, back toward the darkness, back toward my body. Wait, I tried to call out. What do I do? How do I tell them? The light's final words washed over me like a wave. Tell them the truth. Tell them what you saw. Not to frighten them, but to prepare them. Tell them that in the shaking, they will find solid ground in each other. Tell them that when systems fail, human connection will sustain them. Tell them that when darkness threatens to consume the young, love will be the light that guides them home. Tell them to store up what matters. Not possessions, but relationships. Not power, but compassion. Not certainty, but faith. Tell them to love fiercely. To forgive quickly. To serve without counting the cost. Tell them I am with them. Always. Even in the worst of what's coming. Especially in the worst of what's coming. And tell them this is not the end of the world. It's the birth of a new one, and birth is always painful. But what comes after is worth it. Then I felt it. The violent, excruciating pull back into flesh, into pain, into the wreckage of my car. I gasped. Air filled my lungs like fire. I heard sirens, voices. Someone was cutting through metal to get to me. I opened my eyes, and I saw flashing red and blue lights. I saw my blood on the airbag. I saw a paramedic's face, young and scared, saying, "Stay with me, kid, stay with me." I wanted to tell him I'd already left and come back, that I'd seen things he wouldn't believe. But I couldn't speak. I could only breathe. In and out. In and out. Alive. Impossibly alive. They pulled me from the wreckage, loaded me into an ambulance. I heard someone say it's a miracle. His heart stopped. We got him back. But they didn't get me back. The light sent me back. And I came back changed, marked, carrying knowledge I never asked for and couldn't ignore. I spent 2 weeks in the hospital. Broken ribs, collapsed lung, concussion, but no permanent damage. The doctors called it lucky. My parents called it a blessing. I called it a second chance. When I was finally strong enough to sit up, I told them everything. My mom cried. My dad sat silent, his hands folded, his eyes distant. Emma climbed into the hospital bed beside me and held my hand and said, "I believe you." That meant more than anything. When I got home, I tried to go back to normal. Back to school. Back to basketball. Back to my old life. But I couldn't. Everything was different. I saw the world through new eyes. I noticed things I'd ignored before. The kid sitting alone at lunch. The girl who always wore long sleeves even in summer. The boy who laughed too loud to cover his pain. I started reaching out. Small things at first. Sitting with someone who was alone. Asking how are you and actually waiting for the real answer. Listening without trying to fix or judge. Just being present. I told my story. At first, just to close friends. Then to my youth group at church. Then to anyone who would listen. Some people thought I was crazy. Some thought I was lying. But others leaned in. They asked questions. They shared their own fears about the future. And slowly, something beautiful started to happen. We started preparing together. Not with fear, but with intention. We started building community. Really building it. Not just showing up on Sundays, but showing up for each other. We started a peer support group at school. A place where kids could talk about their struggles without judgment. We started volunteering. At food banks, at homeless shelters, at senior centers, learning to serve, learning to see people, learning to love without expecting anything in return. And I watched as the light I'd seen in that other place started showing up here, in acts of kindness, in moments of connection, in the faces of people who'd been drowning and finally found someone to pull them to shore. It's been 18 months since I died, since I saw what's coming, and I'm watching it begin. I see the signs. The earthquakes are increasing. Scientists are calling it unprecedented. I see the digital infrastructure becoming more vulnerable. Cyber attacks making headlines every week. I see the mental health crisis among young people reaching emergency levels. Everything the light showed me is starting to unfold, and I'm not afraid, because I also see the response. I see communities coming together. I see young people refusing to give up. I see neighbors helping neighbors. I see strangers becoming family. I see the choice being made, over and over, to choose love instead of fear. It's not easy. The shaking hurts. The fractured systems are causing real suffering. The mental health crisis is devastating. But in the midst of it all, I see hope. I see resilience. I see the human spirit rising to meet the challenge. And I see the light, still present, still speaking, still holding us together. I'm 17 now, still in high school, still playing basketball, still just a kid in most ways. But I carry something most people don't. I carry a message, a warning and a promise. The warning is this. Before 2026, the world will face trials that will test everything we think we know. The earth will shake. Systems will fail. Souls will struggle. It will be hard, painful, terrifying at times. But the promise is this. We will survive. Not because we're strong, but because we're connected. Not because we have all the answers, but because we have each other. And not because we're in control, but because something greater than us is holding us together. The light told me to tell the truth. So here it is. What's coming will break you open. It will strip away everything false, everything superficial, everything that doesn't really matter. And in that breaking, you will discover who you really are, what you're really made of, what you're really here for. You will discover that you are stronger than you thought, more compassionate than you knew, more essential than you believed. To the young people who are reading this, who are listening to this, who feel like they're drowning, stay. Please stay. The darkness you're feeling is real, but it's not forever. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are not too much or not enough. You are exactly who you need to be, and you are needed, desperately needed. The world is about to go through something hard, and it needs your creativity, your passion, your perspective, your heart. Don't let the lie tell you otherwise. Reach out. Talk to someone. Anyone, a friend, a parent, a teacher, a stranger on a helpline. Just don't stay silent, because your voice matters, your story matters, your life matters. And there are people waiting to love you if you'll just let them. To the adults who are reading this, pay attention. The young people around you are struggling in ways you might not see. They've been taught to perform, to pretend, to keep it together. But inside, many of them are breaking. Look closer. Ask better questions. Create safe spaces. Listen without judgment. Love without conditions. You have more power than you realize to save a life simply by being present. To everyone who's afraid of what's coming, your fear is valid. But don't let it paralyze you. Let it motivate you. Use this time to build. Build relationships. Build community. Build resilience. Store up what matters. And what matters is love, connection, compassion, service, faith. These are the things that will carry you through the shaking, the fracturing, the drowning. These are the things that cannot be taken away. When the earthquakes come, when the systems fail, when the darkness presses in, you will need people, and people will need you. So, start now. Reach out to your neighbors, strengthen your relationships, learn to grow food, learn to fix things, learn to help each other, not out of fear, but out of love. Not to survive alone, but to thrive together. The light showed me that humanity's greatest strength has always been its ability to come together in crisis. to see each other's suffering and step toward it instead of away from it, to choose unity over division, to choose hope over despair. And that strength is still here, still alive, still ready to be activated. For a moment, I stood between heaven and earth, and I understood both. Heaven is not a place we go when we die. It's a presence we carry when we're alive. It's choosing love when fear would be easier. It's choosing connection when isolation would be safer. It's choosing hope when despair seems logical. And earth is not a prison. It's a classroom, a testing ground, a place where souls come to learn what they're made of. What's coming is not punishment. It's purification. It's an opportunity to shed everything false and discover everything real. To let go of what doesn't matter and cling to what does. To remember that we are not separate. We are one family, one species, one planet. And we will survive this together or not at all. The light is still speaking. Through me. Through you. Through anyone willing to listen. It's whispering the same message it whispered to me in that space between life and death. You are loved. You have always been loved. And love will carry you through anything. If this story reached your soul, write light below. Not for me, but to show that the light still speaks. Subscribe and stay in this journey, because the next story might be the one written for you. What I saw wasn't meant to terrify you. It was meant to prepare you, to wake you up, to remind you that the future is not set in stone. It's being written right now by the choices we make, by the love we give, by the hands we reach out, by the hope we hold on to. Before 2026, the world will shake, systems will fail, souls will struggle, but you will survive. We will survive. Together. Because that's what we were made for. Not to live in isolation, but in community. Not to hoard, but to share. Not to judge, but to love. The light showed me the trials, but it also showed me the triumph. And the triumph is already here, waiting in every act of kindness, every moment of connection, every choice to see each other's humanity and honor it. So close your eyes one more time, whisper light, and feel it. That presence, that knowing, that certainty that you are not alone, that you never have been, that you never will be. The light is here. It's been here all along, and it will carry us home.